Hello everyone and welcome back to part 16 of my Learn Ethical Hacking course. In this part we're going to look at something called the BeefHook framework. This is just another method on how to actually access a computer. Now this method doesn't include a payload. Now you can actually, if you think about this and put everything together from this course, then there's many different ways of using beef and a payload together. I'm going to be making a full hacking demo, putting everything together in one video. It's not going to be in detail, it's just going to show you how you can actually put everything together. But it's important you watch every part of this course so you get an idea. Then you've just got to say to yourself, how could I put this part and this thing together to sort of make one whole method. But if you're on Kali Linux, we can actually get started with this BeefHook framework. If you look on the left and you see this icon, it looks like a bull, hence the name beef. You can just click on it. Then it's going to open the terminal and start the beef service. If you just give it a few seconds, it's going to actually generate the beef service, and then it will open the web UI in a few seconds. Just wait and it'll open the UI. This is just the user interface, and it's the beef authentication. So for some reason it's opened this twice, so I can just close one tab, and then it'll ask for a username and password. Now beef uses HTML and it is required, so the way that you've got to hook people is that they've got to visit your website. And if we go back to the terminal, you can have a look here. So it says web UI and it uses a user interface. So this is why it says web UI, and this is it. So there's no command lines, there's no commands that you have to type, it's just all user interface, so it's very user friendly. Next is hook, and this is the most important part. Now if you don't know web development, then don't worry, because I will go through and explain it in brief detail. But essentially this is HTML. Now script, this is called a script tag. Now a script tag in HTML, anything between two tags will be executed and displayed on the website. Now in this case script tags aren't displayed because it's just JavaScript. As you can see here, it's running a JS file, but the script is executed in the background. And this has got to be placed on a website's index page. Now an index page is essentially just the home page of the website. So if you go to Facebook and the first page you see before you log in, that is essentially the index page, because it links every other page inside the directory of the website together in with backlinks and links to different pages and navigation bar. So what we need to do is we need to get our Apache server running, and we need to go to the directory of it. So like we used for the payloads, it's just our server. So we go to other locations, computer, then we go to var, www, HTML, and the most important part here is the index.html, because we need to add this line of code to our index.html. So if we open this with another program, we'll open it with LeafPad. Now you will see something completely different here. There'll be a long line of different code. It'll be HTML, they'll have some CSS in there. Don't worry about it, just delete everything you see in it. So just press Control, if you press Control A, it'll highlight everything, and then you can just delete it. So you should have a blank index.html page. Now inside here we need to add our hook. So if we just copy this, copy, paste it in the first line. Then when it says IP, we need to highlight all of this, including the angle brackets. Delete that and type the IP address of your Kali machine. So it's, for me, it's 192.168.110.128. It's going to use port 3000, and it's the hook.js. So every time someone visits this index.html page, they will become a zombie, and we can actually execute commands on their computer. I'm going to save this now, and we can add some HTML to make the website look a bit less suspicious. So let's just add a h1. So this h1 tag is a heading. h1 is the largest heading, so we can say my new blog, and to actually close off a tag you need a / and then h1 again. So you can just copy this. And then we'll add a paragraph tag. So it's the same thing, but just P. And we'll say, welcome to my new blog. Please check it out. There we go. Close it the same way. Then we can save this and close it. So now we've got our innocent HTML page in quotes. Oh, I'm gonna search. There we go. We've also got our payloads inside of here, but the most important part with BeefHook is the index.html. So now it's all set up. We just need to log into Beef, and to log in, you just type Beef as the username and Beef as the password. Click login, and it will authenticate. Then you can read a little bit about Beef and the framework, and then the hooked browsers. The most important part is up here. So all the online browsers, and this is the online zombies. So everyone that visits this page, this index page, will actually become a zombie. Now, there's so many different methods on how you can do this. It requires a lot of social engineering. You can clone websites. You could use DNS spoofing, which I'll talk about. So essentially, you don't even need to send them a suspicious link. You can DNS spoof facebook.com, for example. You send them an email saying, please visit this facebook.com, it's not working for me. And then they click on it. It will use DNS spoofing and send them to a fake page. It looks like Facebook, but in fact it's got the hook script on it. I'll also show you sending spoof emails. So if you know someone and you know their friend, you could pretend to be their friend and send them an email. The email will be exactly the same as their friends or work colleagues. They won't know any difference. So that's interesting. And the other method is something called man in the middle. That will hook them, and they don't even have to visit any sort of website, but they've got to be on the same network. I forgot to mention at the end of the previous video that if you realize now that all these link together, so it's up to you to find out what's the best for you. So if you like Wi-Fi cracking and you get into someone's Wi-Fi, then you can use Beef and man in the middle. If they are on Facebook, it will hook their browser, and then once you've hooked their browser, you could send them a fake update. They will download this fake update, and it could be your payload. Then you've got absolute full control. You could send them a spoof email that includes a link to a new website, and you say to them, visit this website. They think it's their friend, they click on it, they're hooked. So there's many different things. I will go into more detail once I make more parts, but for now we'll just go through the basics of Beef. So we've got our online browsers here. So now what we need to do is we need to go to the victim computer. We'll go to our server 192.168, click enter, and it just looks like an innocent shitty website. It says my new blog, welcome to my new blog, please check it out. So it looks innocent, it doesn't look anything, suspicious, nothing wrong with it. And now let's say this person walks away from the computer and leaves this up. So if we go back to our Kelly machine, if you notice now, it says online browsers, and we've got a new browser. If we click on that, you can see details about it. It says browser version unknown, and then it's got browser language, it's got the platform. Now this is a little bit shitty. Some of the things on it aren't exactly true. The screen size, it's got the screen size, the date, that's all fine, the IP address, etc. But the most important part of Beef is commands. So this command section, and this is where we can actually execute commands, execute exploits, make fake updates appear for the browser. So it will say, please update your new this browser. There's a new update, a critical update, which is quite interesting. This here, Rider, allows you to see HTTP requests and create them. XSS arrays allows you to see if the page that the victim's on, or the zombie's on, that is vulnerable to XSS, which is which is cross-site scripting. IPAC is basically a terminal for Beef, so you can just run Beef commands here. Network will give you an overview of the current network, which you can see right here. We'll go back to commands though, and we'll have a little look through these. So if you click browser, you can see you can detect certain things. You can actually see the webcam with this Beef. You can unhook it if you wanted to. You can play sound through their computer, which is quite scary. Yeah, like I said, you can watch the webcam. You can detect if they've got certain applications. You can Spider Eye is interesting, so we'll have a look at Spider Eye just really quick. So you click on Spider Eye, and as you can see, there's a description. So it says this module takes a picture of the victim's browser window. So you click execute, and then if you look at the module results history, click on this one here, command results, and then the image will appear here. Now the image may be quite large and it may take quite a while to actually view, so we'll go back to that in a second, but the image should appear here. So if we go down to Chrome extensions, you can have a look at some Chrome extensions. You can inject Beef again, you can take a screenshot. Sometimes Spider Eye might not work. As you can see, there's a traffic light system. So if it's red, in fact, we could go back to details, I think, of the homepage. If it's red, then I don't think it actually works on the current browser that you've hooked. It depends on what browser, because they could be using Google Chrome, and Spider Eye may work for Google Chrome, but it might not for the what's it called? Microsoft Edge, I believe this is, or I forgot what this browser's called. Internet Explorer, there's a new one called Edge, but I don't use them because they're shit. Anyway, Chrome extensions, we can have a look there. Got debug. I'm not going to go through everything because there's so many. There's exploits. So there's Shell Shock, Cold Fusion. There's many different exploits that you can use. In fact, I'll skip to the most important one. So if we get rid of all them, apart from like the webcam. But it's not recommended that you actually use Beef to actually do any of that webcam stuff. The payload is much better for that. We'll close out of all that now. We'll go to persistence. So in the browser, that will create a persistence confirm close tab. You can create a foreground iframe. So it will rewrite all the links on the web page to spawn 100% by 100% frame with a source relative to the selected link. We can create a pop under. So another browser node will be added to the hook browser tree. This module creates a discrete pop-up window under the BeefHook. So if we click execute, this is going to be persistent now, because if we go back to the Windows machine, it's blocked a pop-up because this is a local server, so it doesn't usually allow pop-ups. But if we allow once or allow always, and most computers will have a pop-up allowed, this is just hidden in the background, and as you can see, it's persistent now because it's going to keep running this website and it's going to be constantly hooked. Obviously, if the person notices this, then they're probably going to just close it. That's a method of persistence. It's not very reliable though. Phone gap. We can detect phone gap. That's I think phone gap's some sort of app development application. You can upload a file. Yeah, so you can upload any file. You can start recording audio. Social engineering. This is the most important one, so I'll close out of that and close out of persistence. So here is what's most common. So pretty theft. This will ask the user for their username and password using a floating div. I'll show you that in a second. We've got Clippy. This brings up an image and asks the user to do stuff. This is a fake flash update. So this is a fake update for a Flash player. This is the fake notification bar for Google Chrome. So I'm not going to go through everything, but if we click on, let's just click on the IE one, because that's what the victim's using. So let's execute. and if we go back to the Windows 10 machine, it says this website wants to run applet Java from Microsoft Inc. To continue using this website, you must accept the following security pop-up. Click on that, and essentially what that would have done, that would have downloaded the payload. But because we didn't set anything, the actual payload, then it won't download anything. There's a fake notification bar for here. Now these plugin URLs are essentially just the direct download link to your payload. I was just wondering why this one doesn't. Fake notification bar seems. Let's have a look at Google Phishing. I'm not sure why it doesn't actually give you a direct download for that, but it does for them too. Google Phishing. So this plugin uses an image tag to XSRF, the logout button. I'm not really familiar with this one. Let's have a look. Oh, basically it's just a phishing page of Google. Pretty Theft, this is a good one. So it asks the user for their username and password using a floating div. So we'll have a look at this. So we'll use Facebook back in grey and the custom logo. So if we click execute and we go back to this browser, as you can see, it says Facebook session timed out. Your session is timed out due to inactivity. Please re-enter your username and password. So they click login. In fact, let's do it. So we'll type test@test.com and the password can be test. Now it's just closed. Go back to here. We click on this. As you can see, answer equals test@test.com and the password test. So that's a good social engineering method, because if people aren't familiar with computers, they will probably panic and actually log into that. Replace videos. And this is a malicious Firefox extension again. Simple hijacker. Hijack links, clicks on links to display what you want. Tab nabbing, let's have a look at this. The module redirects to a specific URL after the tab has been inactive for a specific amount of time. So if they leave the computer and go away, then it will redirect to somewhere else. There's a few fake notification ones here. So Firefox extension again. I'm just quite confused why this one doesn't actually have a security pop-up. To continue, you must accept it. I'm not exactly sure what this done, but right, user has clicked. I'm not too sure exactly what the point of that one is. Let's have a look if we can actually just execute this on the because the browser's basically using different browsers, but let's see what this does. I'm not actually tested this. Oh, there we go. It's sort of a Firefox update, but it's displayed on the Edge or the IE Internet Explorer browser. So that looks totally just so fake. But like I said, people who don't understand computers will probably install the plugin. So that's a good one to use. And if you think about it now, we could actually put our payload inside of this. And when they click on install plugin, they will download the payload. So that was it for this video. That's just a basic overview. We'll go into more detail in the next part. So if this did help, please leave a like, comment if you're stuck with anything. I'll be happy to help, and I will see you in the next video.